In this video, I'm running through the exact process and the exact materials that I use to age venison at home DIY. Very inexpensive project and anyone can do it. Let's get after it. My name is Matt and I live for moments like these.
Guys, I killed the biggest buck of my life this morning.
I'm far from an expert, but using persistence and a little bit of luck, I'm able to make some pretty cool things happen. I do my best to capture the entire harvest, the kill, the prep, and my favorite part, the meal. Because to me, it's more than a hunt. It's man versus deer.
He is a mass monster. Holy cow.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're new to the channel, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to check out a man versus deer video. I post a lot of hunting content. More specifically, I love to post catch, clean, cook style hunting content. If you're into that sort of thing, smack that subscribe button, turn on that notifications bell. You're also gonna notice that I'm wearing some pretty sweet man versus deer merchandise. I've got these turkey hunting hats. I've got man versus deer hoodies. Both of these things are going to be available via links in the description to purchase. Any purchases made directly support the channel and help me out a ton. So today's video is actually all about how to age venison at home. I've got a small fridge in my garage that I used to do this with, and it's a very inexpensive process. Anyone can do it. It's going to be a short and sweet video. There's not a ton of information to cover, but by the end of it, you're going to see exactly what I used, where I purchased it at, and I'm going to throw in some other tips and tricks I use to get the best quality venison aging it at home. With that being said, let's jump into the video. All right, guys, to start this process, you're gonna need somewhere cool and dry to hang your venison. You can age it anywhere from like 3 days to 30 days, depending on exactly what your goals are. I do somewhere between 3 days and 5 days. That is my sweet spot. It ages it enough that it breaks down some of the collagen and makes the meat really tender and really flavorful, but it isn't long enough that I have to deal with cutting any of the outside off due to it getting overly dry or kind of spoiled. So that's my preference. You can do whatever you want though. The first thing I'm gonna do is take some measurements of the inside of the fridge and get its dimensions. We're gonna do this because we need to either hang the meat or lay it on some type of shelving to where the air can circulate under and around it and really help it dry out, make sure there's no moisture that pools, and I opted to use some shelving. So I got the dimensions of my fridge, got online. It did not take me long to find some wire shelving that matched the dimensions of my fridge. This kind of wire shelving is the kind you would see that's holding up fruits and vegetables in the back of restaurants. Fairly straightforward to put together. So I ordered it, put it together, and it was ready to go in my fridge. Now, when you're doing this, when you leave meat in your fridge that long, you're gonna have some moisture dripping off the meat. I didn't want it to hit the bottom of my fridge, so I took a little bit of plastic, lined the bottom of the fridge with it, and then put my shelf inside. I then removed the top shelf of the fridge to give myself enough room to put meat on the top of it, and bam, I'm ready to put a quartered deer in my fridge. I was fortunate enough to take a doe during the muzzleloader season. I already had the doe quartered up because I used the gutless method to get her out of the woods. And what I did with this shelving is I used the bottom shelf to hold the back straps, the neck meat, and any other loose meat that I had cut off from the deer. I used the second shelving to hold both front shoulders, and I used the third tier of the shelving to hold both the hams. Utilizing this shelf, I was able to fit an entire deer inside of one fridge. None of the meat was touching. Air can circulate all the way around it. It's gonna age really nicely this way, and that's basically my setup. Really cost effective, really easy to do, and I really feel like this wire shelving is gonna fit in most people's refrigerators. So I definitely think it's a really, really good method, an easy method to utilize. What you get when you do this process is a piece of meat that is easier to work with. It's a little bit dry to the touch. The fat comes off easier. It's easier to separate the muscle fibers. You don't have any of that slime. And more importantly, it is way more tender and tastes way better. There's a lot of collagen inside of protein. Collagen holds the muscle fibers together. When you age it, it breaks those collagens down and makes your meat much more tender. Also removes excess moisture, which concentrates that venison flavor. So ultimately, you're gonna get something that is more tender and tastes way better for having done this method. Well, guys, that pretty much brings us to the end of this video. I hope it was informative. I hope you got all of your questions answered. Most importantly, though, I hope that this video made you want to come back and check out more man versus deer videos. If you guys like cooking and prepping venison, which I'm going to assume if you're watching this video you do, you are going to have to check out the gutless method tutorial video I did. It's going to show as one of the suggested videos as this video closes. I would highly recommend you click on it. Very fast, very efficient way to break down your deer in the field. Saves a lot of time, saves a lot of energy, and if you've not checked it out, I would definitely recommend checking out that video. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch a man versus deer video. Thank you, and good luck in the woods.